Facebook as well. I'm really excited today because it's the first time that I'm going to be on YouTube. You guys can go ahead and share the live, invite your friends to join as well. Okay guys, so coconut bake and buljol. Now the reason why this was my choice for today is because I wanted to do something a little bit more traditional, something that's a little bit more nostalgic to me, a little bit different recipe. So we're gonna go with coconut bake, yeah, and we're gonna go with some saltfish buljol, the way that my family makes it. So now that the life has built up a little bit, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get started on making this. Hi to Natalie, hi to Matthew and Sarah, hi to Kamla and Marilyn as well. Okay guys, I'm excited. Okay, so into a large mixing bowl, I've added 6 cups of all-purpose flour. For this recipe, you can also use baker's flour and that's fine. Into this, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. I think the granulated sugar adds a nice texture, and the brown sugar, it does add to the texture and the taste, but I think that balance, just in case you're wondering why they mix, it balances off the flavors and it keeps the texture nice and light, as if you were to add all brown sugar. But I mean, you guys, if you only have one or the other, you can go ahead and use that, but a mix is just perfect. I'm also going to go ahead and add in 1.5 teaspoons of salt. There we go. I'm gonna add in some grated nutmeg. Now, I like to use nutmeg fresh from the shell, and that's just gonna give you a nice fresh flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this. There we go. I'm gonna grate in about 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. It smells really good. So you guys can let me know where you all are watching from. I see someone watching from the Dutch West Indies. I saw someone earlier. I can't remember where you're from. Let me see. From Ontario. So hi to Karen from Ontario. You guys can let me know where you're watching from. A spoon of freshly grated nutmeg. What spices do you all like in it? Is it nutmeg? Is it cinnamon? So that's about 1/2 teaspoon. I actually really like the flavor of the nutmeg, so I tend to go a little bit extra. So I see someone is watching from Guyana. Hi to you, Jaiwati, and hi to Andy from Egypt. Wow, that's awesome. So I'm really happy to have you all watching today. So into this, I have 6 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons each brown sugar and granulated sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of grated nutmeg, and I'm also going to add in 4 teaspoons of instant yeast. I'm going to mix this together just until it's combined. So while I'm mixing, let me say hi to Cindy, hi to Trisha as well, hi to Elizabeth. I'm going to make sure this smells really good. I love the smell of the nutmeg in it. So far, it's really nice. I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of margarine as well. The salted butter just makes it a little bit nice and light. Okay, so once the butter is in, I'm gonna add in my coconut. Now, what I've done, guys, is I've grated the coconut, some on the really fine side, but also some on the smaller shredded side. So as you're eating, you're gonna get some of the texture of it. I did not squeeze any of the milk out from the coconut. I just want that nice coconut flavor to be infused in the coconut bake. So are you guys hearing me? Hi to Susan from Tableland as well. So once I have the coconut and the butter in here, I'm gonna use my hand and I'm gonna go ahead and begin mixing until it's a nice crumbly texture. Hi to Karishma from Guyana. Hi to Hima. Hi to Ria from Gasparillo. Okay guys, so I'm mixing. It has a really nice buttery aroma to it. It's really good. So at this point, I just really want to make sure that all of the butter and the coconut is well incorporated in all of the flour. That's going to give me a really consistent dough. Okay, so just about right. The sauté sachets that I use for, and I need to get it dry. It's really good. It has a nice kind of a warm homemade flavor to the coconut bake. So I see you're watching from Suriname. Hi to you as well. So I'm gonna, once this is really nicely incorporated, you all could see the texture right here. I am going to go ahead now and add in my coconut milk. So what I've done is I've taken some of the coconut that I didn't grate to add into the dough. I blended it up. I've also added a little bit extra to make sure that it's too low. So here is my freshly just about 1 teaspoon, and I'm going to mix this together just until it's combined. And also because I really want to build on flavor, one to make essence, that's going to give it a really nice flavor as well. So once the coconut milk powder has been incorporated, I'm going to add this into the dough. So someone is watching from Barbados. So guys, this recipe is actually available on YouTube and on my page as well. You all can search for Erica's Joyful Oven coconut bake, and the recipe is there with all of the measurements. And it's a pretty solid recipe that I'm not going to make any changes to because it's so soft and flavorful on its own. So I'm going to create a little well in the center. And I'm going to pour in my wet ingredients, adding most of it. I'm not going to add all just in case. I want to get that perfect texture. Now this is going to be a really soft dough, and you guys are going to see that in just a second. So I also see what he's watching from Iran. It's healthy as well. Now what I'm doing is I'm mixing the dough kind of one side at a time, making sure it comes together, and then the extra dry flour on the side, I can add in the extra coconut milk, make that well incorporate. Now once the dough comes together, I'm going to begin kneading really lightly, making sure there's no flour stuck on the sides of the bowl. That's important when you're in Trinidad. You need to make sure there's no flour stuck on the sides of the bowl. Okay, so for this recipe, I did use the full 2 1/4 cups of coconut milk. Hi to Camille as well. Hi to Jasmine. Yes, Sarah, so the nutmeg does give it a really nice warm flavor, that warm spice in there. If you wanted to, you can even add a little bit of cinnamon, and that's my oven. Find the flavor that your family really likes the most. Okay, so I am going to, just as when I knead most times if I need roti for bus up short paratha or bread, what I like to do is at this point I let it rest for just about 2 to 3 minutes, and the glutens are going to relax. All of the moisture is going to be fully absorbed, and it's going to be easier to knead the dough without overworking the gluten. So I'm going to let this rest for about 5 minutes, maybe 3 because it's alive, but we'll see. So hi to someone is watching from the Netherlands. Hi to you. Let me see. Hi to someone is watching from Coal Mine. Hi to you. There we go. Hi to Sita from Claxton Bay. Hi to Marta. Someone asked me a question. Do I put grated coconut? Yes. So I do add some grated coconuts in the dough. If you don't put it out, but I really grated coconut. It adds to the texture, it adds to the flavor, and I just really like eating the coconut bake that's so fluffy and soft and melts in your mouth. But then you get those bits of coconut that adds a really nice texture. So I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna come back to finish kneading the dough. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I'm back. I see someone is hi Denise from Bermuda. Hi to Anna from Santa Cruz. Hi to Jenny. Yes, this is definitely for the weather, guys. We're having a little bit of crazy weather, and you guys be safe out there. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna cook and you're gonna have some nice, comforting food for the weather, right? So hi to Shaliza from San Fernando. Hi to Cindy from Houston and Elisa from Guyana. So I love hearing from you all over the world. I love when you guys message me and say that you're in another country and you try the recipes. I am really proud of my culture and the food that Trinidad has to offer. Hi to Jennifer from Princestown. Okay guys, so I usually leave this for about 5 minutes, but because of the time today, I am gonna go back and finish kneading. I'm gonna add just about 2 to 3 tablespoons extra flour, only if necessary. And again, this is a really soft dough, as you guys can see. It's quite soft, and that's perfect because I want to have a really nice, soft, spongy coconut bake. I'm gonna begin kneading this. Now you can knead this in the bowl if you want to, but to make it easier, I like to knead the dough on a lightly floured surface. I'm just gonna get this dusted. There we go. So a light dusting of flour. Hi to you, Rachel. Hi to Sabita as well from Faisabad. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this dough by hand. I should say knead the dough by hand. And this is gonna take about 2 minutes for the dough to really come together. So I see Saraswati from South Africa. Hi to you. Hi to Trisha from Trees Village. So you guys can let me know, what do you all like to eat your coconut bake with? Is it cheese? Do you all like to have it with maybe some tomatoes? Or do you all like some bacon buljol? So the dough is quite soft, as you all can see. I am going to continue kneading just for about 2 minutes again. I want to get a really nice consistency. Almost there, guys. Hi to Trisha. Hi to Marge from Maruga. So Trisha is saying she likes it with Gouda cheese. Yes. There's something about the coconut bake fresh from the oven with a nice spread of butter or some cheese that just makes it perfect with a cup of tea, especially the local cocoa tea. That's really good. The Trini cocoa tea, the one that they grind up and you boil it and you strain it. That's just, it's perfect, especially with the rainy weather. Hi to Rowty. Okay, so at this point I could feel that the dough is a little bit more elastic. You can see that the top of it is nice and smooth. You can almost see tiny little air bubbles underneath, and that lets me know that there's some layers. There's a nice spongy consistency throughout the dough. So I am going to add this back to the bowl, but before I do, I'm going to add just a light bit of butter on top of the dough, and that's going to keep the top of it from drying out. So I have my butter just all around the dough. Back inside the bowl. Now I'm going to wash my hands again. So Trisha says she gets her tea from Dominica. I've tasted that already, and it's really great. Now if I press down on this, it's going to kind of spring back up just a little bit, and that's a nice soft texture that I'm looking for. So at this point, I am going to cover the dough with some plastic wrap. Again, that's to make sure that the top of the dough doesn't form a crust. And then I'm gonna set this aside for about 30 minutes until it doubles in size. So depending on the bowl that you're using, it may not necessarily fill the bowl. But you do want it to just double in size from where it's at right now. So here is some that I have freezing, and you can see that nice texture at the top. It's nice and smooth, and if I press it down, I'm going to feel all of the air bubbles inside of it. I am going to turn it out onto a lightly forward surface. It's really nice. And before I roll this out, I'm gonna get my pan, just a regular half-shaped pan, and I'm gonna add a light bit of butter on the surface. Now I don't usually add any flour because it just gives you a nice crust underneath the coconut bake without making it heavy or dewy or floury, I should say, underneath the coconut bake. Alright, so just a light bit of butter spread around the pan. And that light bit of butter on your hand as well is going to help you to handle the dough easily. So I'm squeezing out the excess air from the dough. I do little pieces and form it just a regular loaf. There we go. Now you all can tell by the way that I'm handling the dough that it's quite soft, and there's quite a bit of air inside of it. And at this point, I just shape it into you can shape it into a circle, you can shape it into a rectangle, into an oval. Just a regular oval is fine for me. And I'm going to place it directly into the pan. And as I do, I'm going to press this into maybe a 3/4 inch in thickness. It is going to double up quite a lot. So I should say it rises up or puffs up quite a lot as it bakes. So if you want a really thin bake, you can just press this out a lot thinner. And I'm going to press the other one as well. So I'm not using a rolling pin, guys. I'm just using just a little bit of force to press the dough. That is perfect. And of course, before this goes to rise, I do need to just make a few indentations with a fork. There we go. And I'm just gonna create just that, and that's it. This is ready. So I mean, this was a really easy process. Aside from the rising time that it does need, it is still really quick to put together. And this is gonna be covered with a paper towel and placed in a warm area until it doubles in size. Now in the meantime, I do have one baking in the oven, and it's gonna bake for about 25 minutes in total. What you do want to do is that just before it comes out of the oven, you want to brush a little bit of butter on top of it, and that's going to give you a nice even browning on the top, and it's going to create a nice little crust at the top. So I'm going to take it out of the oven now and add that light brushing of butter at the top. Can you guys see this? Isn't it beautiful? And of course, the smell is just divine. It's so good. So here I have my room temperature salted butter. I'm just gonna lightly brush at the top. And of course, as I brush the butter, it's gonna melt into the top layer, and it's gonna make this really nice, soft crust at the top. Smelt. Okay, so there we go. Around. And then it's going to be ready. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? So hi to Nadia, hi to Mala and Sandra as well. Do you all have any questions about coconut bake, or even for those of you all who have never heard of the Buljol, it is a mixture of salted, a mixture of different seasonings, and it just goes so perfect with the coconut bake. So thank you, Cindy and Sita and Radha as well. So I am going to just do a really quick cleanup here, guys, and then we're going to get started making the saltfish Buljol. Now, something exciting I want to share with you all. This is my proof that I used fresh coconuts, and it's just fun to share. So this is the bread from inside of the coconut, and it was such a beauty. I just, of course, had to share you all. I'm going to enjoy this a little bit later. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna take the coconut bake out of the oven. I do have the recipe on YouTube and also on Facebook. You guys can check it out. And of course, you all can browse through all of my recipes at facebook.com/joyful/joyfuloven. So I'm going to take the coconut bake out of the oven now. And this is just perfect. Can you guys see that? And it smells really good. I'm gonna set it aside. Now I typically remove it immediately as it's finished baking and place it onto a clean kitchen towel, and that's just gonna kind of stop the process. And it's also going to keep it nice and soft. So I'm gonna remove that immediately. Can you all see that nice soft texture? It's so good. Okay, so while these are cooling, let's get started on making the buljol. So I'm going to use a nice big mixing bowl. I'm going to grab making buljol. I don't know if you think that you may one which is a nice fried avocado. So have you guys ever made buljol with avocados before? Is it something that you all have done before, and is it something that you all are going to try if it is that you've never done it before? Okay, so I am excited and I'm gonna get started right away. So into the mixing bowl, I'm gonna add in some tomatoes. So I have 3 large tomatoes that I'm gonna add in. It is kind of ripe, not so much that it's gonna make the buljol mushy or. So I'm gonna add in some eggs. So I have here 5 really large eggs that I have boiled and cut into bite-sized pieces, the same size as the tomatoes. I'm gonna go in as well. And I'm gonna add in some saltfish. Now what I've done to the saltfish, guys, because of the time, I've went ahead and prepared it in advance. Now it is quite crunchy. You can see that nice golden color on it. You guys see that there? And how I've prepared this is I've washed out the eggs. I've placed it to boil in some water for just about 10 to 15 minutes. And of course, this is the boneless saltfish that I'm using. And once it was nice and boiled, I mashed it up to this really fine consistency, removed all of the bones. You guys can see that texture there. And I've placed it into a really hot frying pan, or you can use a really heavy iron pot. You want to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. This is 1 pound of saltfish that I'm using here, right? And I've added 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. You want to add enough oil that is really going to fry the saltfish and make it really crisp. And 2 really large cloves of garlic. You want that garlic flavor. Fry this saltfish up for just about 15 minutes until it's this really nice golden, really crispy texture. And I'm gonna add all of the saltfish on top in the mixing bowl. And now for the avocados. Now I am going to cut the avocados freshly. You can, if you wanted to, cut the avocados and place some lime juice on it. But because this is going to be devoured so quickly, I'm not going to bother to add any of the lime juice. So I'm going to just cut this in cubes. Again, bite-sized pieces, just as with the other ingredients. I'm cutting it inside of the inside of the skin, and then I'll just peel it away. There we go. Now I love avocados, and if you're not a really big fan of avocados, that's fine. You can leave it out, but it does add quite a lovely texture and flavor as well. There we go. So someone is saying to add capers in here. So I've never actually added the capers, so Kelsey, that is something to try. I guess the saltiness of the capers would really add a nice flavor. There we go. Now you can add half of the avocado, but because I'm such a really great big fan of avocados, I'm gonna add in all of it. Hi to Lisa, hi to Hilly as well, and Lalita. So guys, I'm just peeling this avocado because the skin is a little soft. So guys, what did you all cook today on this really rainy Sunday? Did anyone make soup today? Okay, so all ready. So I'm gonna add in all of the avocados. Now everything is a really nice bite-sized flavor, so that when you're eating this, you're able to get a little bit of everything in one bite. That's gonna make it. Okay, so I'm back. Now in here with the eggs, with the tomatoes, it's really crisp and crunchy, and the avocados as well. I'm gonna begin adding in some seasonings and flavorings. So I have here one onion, kind of a medium-sized onion that I've cut into these really small cubes, and I'm gonna add that in. You can add in as much or as little as you want to this. I'm also going to add in some chopped bandania or shadabani. That's gonna go in. There we go. I have here just one really large clove of garlic that I've chopped. That's gonna also add a nice flavor. And of course I've minced it really finely, so you're not gonna bite into any big pieces of garlic. I also have here 2 large pimentos that I've cut into tiny cubes. That's gonna go in. Now this is the way that my family always makes their buljol, and it's so delicious. So now before I mix this together, I'm gonna add in a dash of black pepper. So excited. And some salt. Now I did wash most of the salt off of the saltfish before I boiled it, but I do want to add just a pinch of salt, and that's gonna really flavor the avocados and the tomatoes as well. And I'm going to begin mixing this. And of course, I do have a secret ingredient that is going to add a really nice flavor, and it's going to really help all of these flavors come together, and that is just a dash of Angostura Bitters. So I have my Angostura Bitters, and I'm going to add in just a dash. I mean, I don't think we really measure Angostura by teaspoons. Just say a dash or two, right? So I'm going to mix that in and give this a really nice toss. And this is the Buljol ready. Now it has a really nice color to it. If you want to, you can add maybe some carrots in here. Pretty much anything you wanted for some color. But this is my family way of doing it. It's so delicious. It's ready. It has this really nice color. And finished. So I'm gonna do my favorite parts of this, which you guys is that just as the beaks come out of the brush a little extra butter. It's gonna immediately move as it's still, but that's okay. It's still nice. Can you also spongy? There we go. And I'm gonna cut in with a nice bread knife. All right, so as I'm slicing in, you all can see how soft it is. There you go. That texture. It's so good, right? And even if I break it apart, it's still going to be really nice and soft. Isn't it so good? Okay, so this little piece that I have here, to me it's the perfect piece because it has all of these ends, these nice brown ends. I'm going to add in some of the salted Buljol in the bake. And I can't wait because I'm excited. I'm hungry, guys. I saved my appetite today for this. So I have the Bojo, I have some avocados, some tomatoes, some of the eggs. I'm excited. Okay, let's go. Are you all ready? Let's go. No, this is perfect. This, to me, it tastes like nostalgia because it's something that my family would make a lot growing up. It's just so rich. It's so flavorful. You have that really soft, spongy, melt in your mouth coconut bake. You have those bits of coconut in there. But this Buljol, guys, it's so amazing. You have the crunch of that really crisp, golden fried sausage. You have all of the textures with the eggs, you have the avocados, you have the tomatoes, you have all of that flavor going on in there. And then it's tied together and the flavors are really complete with the bandania or shadow benny. With the onions, you get that little bit of crunch from the onions. It is, to me, this is perfect. To me, this is the perfect Sunday lunch. Perfect for the weather. I'm really excited to have been able to share this recipe with you all today, and I really hope you will try it with your family. And of course, Mr. Joyful Oven is waiting.
Thank you.
So of course you have to give your feedback. Okay, his mouth is full. Because it's so good. Have you guys tell me before recipe before well, of course, you know, have you tried making the Buljol before? Is this the way your family usually does it? Let me know in the comments. I'm excited to hear from you all. And also, before I go, I do want to show you all the coconut bake. So this has been resting for about 20 minutes now, maybe a little bit more. You all can see that it's just almost doubled in size, and as much as I press this out thin, it does kind of rise a little bit as it's resting. So this is gonna go into the oven, guys, and it's gonna bake up brown just like this. So let me stick this in. start my timer, and that's it. How easy was that? Okay, so someone says, so Denise is saying from Bermuda that her mom usually adds a little bit of olive oil in it, and that's amazing. I think that's something that I would try as well. Did I miss any comments? Thank you, Trisha. Pepper sauce, yes. So guys, I did forget to mention, thank you for mentioning that, Teresa. You can, if you wanted to, chop up some hot pepper really finely, even some jalapenos throughout the dish, and that's gonna add a nice little heat and flavor as well. But you guys know, as much as I love food, I'm not such a big fan of pepper, but it is an option, and it's a great option. Let me see that I miss anything. Hi to Ruby. Yes, butter and cheese. So I think because of the weather, guys, and the great thing about this coconut base is that it can be stored in the refrigerator. It's not gonna dry out. It's gonna remain really nice and spongy and soft. To those of you all who tried the coconut base already, I'm sure you all can testify that it's gonna be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Soft, tender.
Yeah, that you all can agree that it's gonna be really nice and soft and flavorful. So in the refrigerator, this is best enjoyed fresh because of the onions and the avocados and there. Trust me, this isn't gonna last very long. It's so good. Okay, so I think I've gotten off. So yeah, so someone is saying they've never seen it made this way before, and you'll have a new recipe to try. Someone said as well that to them it's the flaked saltfish mixed with tomatoes and stuff, and that's great. And what I love about Trini cooking, guys, is that everyone has their own way, the own way that their mothers or grandmothers would have grown up making it, and because of that, whenever they make it that way, it's gonna taste like nostalgia to them, and that's the beauty of Trini cooking. Everyone does it a little bit different, some secret ingredient that they do that just makes it really awesome. And while we're on that topic of secret ingredient, guys, we are gonna kick off Christmas in July this Friday night. We're gonna go live, and I am gonna share with you all my mom's secret ingredient for making her pie. Now, this is something that I haven't really seen done anywhere else. I did share my backward recipe with you all last year, July, and for Christmas as well. That recipe is not going to change because it's a pretty solid recipe my family always uses. However, I am going to share with you all what my mom always does, something that adds a really nice texture, a really nice a ton of flavor, guys. So tune in. This Friday I will cut the time and post it on Facebook, so you all can look out for that. And I will see you all on Friday night. And until then, week. I know Trinidad is expecting some crazy weather this week, so be safe out there, guys. And I will be praying for you all, cheering you all on. Have a wonderful, amazing week, and have a wonderful Sunday evening with your family. So, bye, guys.